Here is an additional video. This video is about the connection between hypothesis testing and confidence intervals. Significant tests are useful, but most statisticians think the method is overemphasized in research. A significant test merely indicates whether a particular parameter value in non-hypothesis is plausible. A small p-value tells us the significance test indicates that the hypothesis value is not plausible, but it tells us little about which potential parameter values are plausible. A confidence interval is more informative because it displays the entire set of a plausible value. A confidence interval shows if non-hypothesis may be badly false by showing if the values in the interval are far from the non-hypothesis value. It helps us determine whether the difference between the true value and the non-hypothesis value has practical importance. You need to be careful with your interpretation about hypothesis testing. Do not reject non-hypothesis doesn't mean you accept a non-hypothesis. In fact, you will never say accept non-hypothesis. If you have a p-value above 0.05, when the significance level is 0.05, you cannot conclude that the non-hypothesis is correct. We can never accept a single value which non-hypothesis contains, such as p equals 0.5. A test merely indicates whether a particular parameter value is plausible. Last, a confidence interval shows that there is a range of plausible values, not just a single one. Here is an example. So we have two different researchers conduct two separate studies to test the same hypothesis. Either p equals 0.5 or p doesn't equal 0.5. The sample size is 400. If we only use p-values, we can say since the level of significance is 0.05, the following conclusion is true. We reject a non-hypothesis. However, for the research B, the p-value is larger than 0.05, so we cannot reject the non-hypothesis. However, if we look at the confidence interval for the data set by research A and B, you will know that the confidence interval doesn't contain p equals 0.5. So you should see how the confidence interval is showing the same conclusion as the hypothesis testing. However, it should be easy to see that the confidence interval provides more meaningful information than the hypothesis testing. Both of the intervals have a lot of overlap in the confidence interval. Last, confidence interval not only can tell us whether we should reject a non-hypothesis or not, it also gives us the plausible range that the parameter values could be.